Herr Gruber, es freut mich so sehr, dass Sie es endlich zurück nach Deutschland geschafft haben. Schön, dass Sie da sind. You didn't understand a word that I said?
I know what you were talking about, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that you really...
It's hard to remember because it was 1988, so I go, what? Oh, that, yeah.
Well, but I understand it. Actually, I must be one of the few elder guys who actually remember these kind of movies, as most of the kids just come towards you like, are you that guy from Harry Potter? Isn't that correct?
No, because there's a lot of other movies in that space in between that people talk about.
Galaxy Quest, Robin Hood, you've been like a really good bad guy. There's been a lot. But this is just like the second time as a director. How come since 1997, I think, Winter Guest, till today, just 2 movies, that's not really that much.
No, but you need to have a year and a half at your disposal in order to direct a film, and I didn't have that until recently.
And let's talk about the German title of A Little Chaos, as it's called in its original form, Die Gärtnerin von Versailles, so the gardener from Versailles. Does this title really come up justice, or would you prefer Ein kleines Chaos instead to describe the movie?
Well, I think that I was informed that it didn't work so well in German, Ein kleines Chaos. I wouldn't know why. I think it's all to do with subtleties of language. It works fine in English, and I think it's changed in France. It's called Le Jardin du Roi.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey-ho.
Yeah, but somehow I think that Le Jardin du Roi even fits better, because this way I would really think that it's solely really focused on the character played by Kate Winslet, and you would presume that it's a love story, but it's totally not a love story, I would say. What is it from your perspective, this type of movie?
Ultimately, I'd say it's totally a love story.
But is it between people, or is it just really more of a state of mind?
No, it's between him and her, very specifically him and her. I guess that's a love story, a him and a her. And but they're both complicated people, and it takes a while for them to get together and to figure out who they are and to find some sort of freedom in themselves, so that then they can be a proper, loving, free, equal couple.
Apparently they really had to go through a lot of things before. I mean, also you're also playing a part in your own movie as the king. Was that kind of making it easier, as people anyway, to have to address you as the king than being the director to the movie? Did it help?
No, that would be a dumb way of going about being a director, is thinking that everybody has to think of you as the king. No, I think that, especially as an actor directing, you want it to be a democracy to some extent. Of course, I have to be the one who says no, yes, over there, not there, bluer, higher, lower, whatever. But I hope I do it as a human being.
And there's one thing that you really need to explain to me, how you achieved that atmosphere in that movie, because, I mean, you're British, obviously. This has also been like an international production. But for some reason, it just appears like a French movie. It has that je ne sais quoi. What is it? It really seems like this is like made with French actor in France, but apparently it's not. So what is it?
Hard work. And also the fact that, you know, when you make a movie, you're surrounded by brilliant, brilliant people, and if you're smart, you'll get the right people around you. So that means production design and costumes and hair, long discussions, and the buildings we're in. And we discover, even though we shot it all in England, that England has stolen or purchased quite a few genuine 17th century French interiors and put them inside English buildings. So yeah, it's a kind of grand larceny, I suppose, in order to put France into the movie.
But also, I think it's also due the great actors. I mean, having a Winslet, Matthias, which I know from The Drop, which is quite amazing, and also having like a Tucci in all of this. I mean, usually these guys would be very costly, so I understand that they really came in because of the trust they have towards you. Is it that you had a relationship towards them earlier, or how easy was it just to get that bunch of great actors all together in this movie?
I think they all loved the script and they wanted to be involved in the story. You know, it's quite a rare piece from that point of view. It's got all this period backdrop, but it's actually about human beings, and I think it's witty and it's sexy, in a kind of unpredictable way. Yes, I know Kate very well, and I know Stanley very well. Matthias I hadn't met until I was actually happened to be filming in Belgium and in Brussels, and he was down the road in Antwerp. And so we met and found this guy I'd watched in, his great movie, what's it called in German?
Which one? What is the movie about?
It's with, it's about the girl with no legs, Rust and Bone.
No, I hadn't seen that one.
Rust and Bone, fantastic movie, and The Drop I saw. But then you meet him and you think he's going to be a very, very serious person. There's this charming, smiling man. So human beings is what I had working on the set.
And where did you find this story? Is it that you read it before earlier somewhere? Because it was, as you just said, I mean, it's a love story, but I found it very interesting. Just where do you find such an material when it's just about gardening? Because I also like the relationship that people have towards that, because it was a different time. It was not about smartphones and application. It was really getting in touch with like plants, like peers and all of these kind of things. So where did you find it?
It dropped through my letterbox. It was written by Alison Deegan, and then the other two, my name and Jeremy Brock's name, are on the screenplay, but that's really just us saying things about the structure of it. But the idea and the complete invention of a woman who couldn't possibly have existed at that time. So that's already something extraordinary. She's made a story about somebody who couldn't have existed. And Le Nôtre was 70 at the time of Versailles being built, not 35. So the movies can do what they want as long as we make you believe it, and then you look at history through a sort of prism. So yeah, there was a day when this thing dropped through my letterbox.
And finally, coming to the music, because I felt that it was really well chosen music. Usually I'm not really such a fan when too much music is used. I call it the Baywatch concept. If you don't have a plot or no budget, you just like use some slow motions and lots of music. But it really fitted perfectly. So I presume that you also been personally in charge of picking that specific type of music. And what was the idea behind it?
I was sitting at a ballet in a tiny theatre in London, and the dancers were all being drenched by water, not accidentally, it was deliberate, it was part of the proceedings. And I thought, well, whoever this composer is wonderful at turning water into music, and at that time that seemed like an important thing to me. And also his music really supported the dancers. So I met him, then 26 years old, Peter Gregson, and he had never written a film score before. And so
he's only 26.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
He's 28 now, but 26. He was on the set all the time. It was very moving to me the day that he conducted the score at Air Studios in London, because this was his first film score. He's a cellist, but brilliant career ahead of him, I think.
Definitely. Ben, thank you so much for that you had some time, and all the successful little carols, Le Jardin du Roi, Die Gärtnerin von Versailles, and I forgot the Japanese title for now. Thank you, Mr. Rickman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Das Schloss Versailles soll der Stolz Frankreichs sein, mit Gärten von unvergleichlicher, einmaliger Schönheit. Es soll der Himmel auf Erden sein.
Was ist eure Philosophie?
Philosophie?
Über die Natur?
Nun, sie ist mein Leben.
Dieses Durcheinander? Das ist euer Paradies?
Es ist meine Suche danach.
Ihr gewährt neue Ideen bei der Gestaltung der Gärten. Wieso?
Willkommen in Versailles.
Diese Frau, ist sie der Aufgabe gewachsen?
Sie ist sehr geschickt in dem, was sie tut.
Warum ich?
Ich habe euch beobachtet. Ihr habt mich neugierig gemacht.
Ich bin an den Hof des Königs eingeladen.
Seht ihr, wie euch alle anschauen?
Gebt mir auf der Stelle einen Kuss, oder ich bin zu Tode beleidigt.
Ich bin doch ganz unbedeutend. Was könnte an mir interessant sein?
Ihr habt etwas an euch, das alle verzaubert.
Zeigt uns eure Brüste. Sind sie hübsch? Wollt ihr meine sehen?
Was macht eine Dame von solcher Eleganz in der Gesellschaft von diesem Mann? Ich habe schon immer das Ausgefallene bewundert. Das mag ich an mir. Oh, Madame, bitte bringt mich zum Schweigen.
Eure Majestät?
Ein zarter, ehrlicher Duft, wo manch andere Rose zu verblassen scheint und verblüht.
Dieses Schicksal erwartet alle Rosenhoheit.
Gehen wir ein paar Schritte.
Eure Gattin, begleitet sie euch nie?
Nein. Sie ist sehr beschäftigt. Und sehr unabhängig.
Gibt es jemanden, den ihr liebt?
Er ist der vollkommenste Mensch, den ich kenne.
Ihr seid wunderschön.
Wollt ihr mir schmeicheln?
Soll ich nicht?
Ihr wart bei dieser Frau, einer Gärtnerin.
Ich bin auch ein Gärtner, Madame.
Ich bitte euch,
Wir könnten hier alles überschwemmen.
tut es.
Mag uns die Natur auch noch so grausam behandeln. Uns bleibt immer noch unser Wille. Geduld, Fürsorge und bedingungslose Hingabe. Das ist unsere ganze Hoffnung.